cases in the 22 counties that will remain under the little.
See, nobody tells me they're like dense.
And that's phase 1. So
they will let me go ahead and.
In the UK, Britain's Department of Health says over 2,800 people have died after testing positive for the coronavirus. That's an increase, 621 from yesterday. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says Britain has passed its peak in the COVID-19 outbreak.
It says live. Am I live now?
How lockdown steps might be eased in the
How about now? Hello.
President Trump's prospects for winning a second term have been jolted by the pandemic, and his opponent, Joe Biden, isn't having an easy time either. Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn slamming the former vice president for his interview yesterday on MSNBC, where he spoke about being accused of sexual assault by staffer Tara Reid in the early 90s.
We should call this the pretzel defense. He was on every side and contradicting himself and twisting.
It's supposed to be live.
As he gave that interview yesterday.
Mike, am I on? Can you hear me, Mike? Do I have sound? That's all I need to know. Do I have sound?
Did not take place. America is listening to Fox News.
Please tell me, man. I am on, but can you hear me? Can you hear?
We must also do everything in our power to restore prosperity.
It's gotta be. You gotta tell me, yeah.
As the nation continues to make progress against
oh my God.
Well,
we'll see.
From DC, watch as the president takes questions on reopening the country and strategy to restore the economy.
Our country has to get open, and it will get open, and it'll get open safely.
America Together, returning to work with President Donald Trump, Sunday 7 Eastern on Fox News Channel. From the Fox News Podcasts Network, Getting Schooled with Abby Hornacek.
What happens when oil prices drop into the negatives? Here to talk me through all of this is Fox Business Network financial correspondent Jackie DeAngelis. If you're an oil producer, you would have to pay someone to take a barrel of oil off of your hands. And the reason that happened is because demand collapsed.
Subscribe.
Hey, all right, great. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, my God. Christopher Barks. Loud and clear. Oh, wait a minute.
North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un.
Michael Coleman. And our newest one. Christopher Barks.
As to what is going on with his house and disappeared in the first place for so long. Alarm bells went off right around the world. Kim Jong-un failed to show up.
All right.
His grandfather was the founder of North Korea. That was on April 15. So if there was any event that he was going to show up, this was it. May 1, May Day. This factory.
Mayday. How's everybody? Shut up. How's everybody doing out there, man? With the freaking zombie virus. Hi. Have you fed your zombie lately? Oh! Blew my head off.
The chopper crashed near an apartment complex around 2 a.m., killing Knox and critically injuring the pilot. While state
WCBM, the Pat McDonough Show, Ron Savage, Houston sponsor.
Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo says his department.
Okay, let me get you. Bang. Okay, hold on, Dr. Anna, and we'll get you. I'll put you on hold. Okay. Thank you. The dog tap. Come on, man. Ugh. I have to have Ned's to tell him. Oh, here we go.
Mary Corsetti, and this is Fox News.
Come on, baby. There we go.
Looks like as we move towards midnight, the rain should be coming to an end. Temperatures dropping back into the mid-40s. That is a good mark for this time of year. Behind this departed system, though, it is going to be a little chilly for Monday and a little breezy. Monday, we will keep it mostly cloudy. The winds may get up to around 30 miles per hour as we get up into the upper 50s. 41 for the overnight low Monday night. And we'll see Sun and Cloud Mix Tuesday, 63. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
This is a commercial announcement. Picture this scenario. A shortage of fuel has closed your electric utility, or any possible disaster has just devastated your town. You're out of power, no lights, and no news. That's why federal and state agencies urge every home to have an emergency radio. Now you can get a free Dynamo World Band emergency radio.
Can I have an emergency radio, please? I might need an emergency radio.
It doesn't even
Oh, don't say no. Oh,
and
wait a
comes with a
minute.
hand crank generator and super bright LED flashlight.
Vegas just showed up, so. Oh, anyway, that's how you boil an egg. Make sure 3 minutes, immediately when it boils, wait 3 minutes, and then that's. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Vegas. Hi, Vegas.
The Dynamo Emergency Weather Band Radio retails for almost $30, but Newsmax wants to make sure you get this radio. So check out the free offer for the emergency radio by going to gettheradio.com. That's gettheradio.com, or call 800-NEWSMAX. This radio could save your life. This is a limited offer and may end soon, so order today.
WCBM reaches all types of entrepreneurs, businesses, associations, and specialists.
All right, man.
Now is your chance
Everything
to
look good?
explain
Yes, I
live,
do.
by way of your own radio show, exactly how your business or association can benefit the
Welcome, everybody. Welcome one and all to the Savage Show. Yeah. No, it's the Pat McDonough Show. And 2 hours of power coming your way, man. Stand by. It starts now. Where's my hat?
For more information, call 410-580-5231.
The WCBM studios are sponsored
2 hours of power.
by Safety Camera
2.
Solutions in Annapolis and Towson. Call Rob Leroy 410-266-1120 or visit saferetirement.solutions.com.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680, WCBM, and WCBM.com are not necessarily those of the owners, management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM. But they should be.
The Pat McDonough Show is brought to you by Rally for America. CBM. Time now for the Pat McDonough Show. Here's your host, Pat McDonough. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the program. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And, of course, I have my co-host, Valerie McDonough, with us. We have attorney David Ellen. Thank you for joining us, David. And we have Angela. How do you pronounce your last name, Angela?
Harless.
Gee, that's hard to pronounce. Carlos and Dr. Anna Palmisano is going to join us in just a minute. We're going to talk tonight about nursing homes and what's happening with the nursing home industry, what's happening with the nursing home situation in the state of Maryland. Half of the deaths from the coronavirus are in nursing homes.
All right.
So that's something we could have to say without any recourse that's pretty important. It's pretty important. Half of the deaths are in nursing homes. So we want my friend Dr. Anna Palmisano to join us, and she is the head of the, I think it's Patients' Rights for Maryland, and I worked with her in the state legislature and she worked really hard on this and to get the Patients' Rights bill passed, which when you go into a hospital these days and you see a plaque on the wall and it says Patients' Rights, you can thank Dr. Palmisano for that hard work. And Anna, thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting me back to the show, and I want to acknowledge your leading role as a state delegate and public figure in the successful support of the Patients' Bill of Rights. You really are owed a lot of credit for that. It became law in October.
Well, I thank you for educating me on it. I didn't realize how bad things were. I was on the health committee for 16 years, so I knew a lot about hospitals and nursing homes. And you always hear in Maryland, Johns Hopkins and University of Maryland Medical Center, all of these great institutions that we have. And Anna pointed out to me that the services were not very good in terms of the patients and their rights. There were no rights. And Maryland ranked near the bottom in the entire country in patient services and rights. And what did it take, Anna? 3 years to get that bill passed?
It was 4 years. 4 long years, Pat.
Yes,
oh my God.
Now, hopefully our ratings nationally in patient satisfaction, which have been very low over the past 5 years, will start to improve now.
Well, I think we're going to have a very similar mission with the nursing homes. And I'd like to start off just by asking you, why did the Maryland Department of Health prevent disclosure of vital information about the virus infection including the rates of deaths that were occurring, and the loved ones and the families couldn't get any information. Why do you think they did that?
Well, it really was outrageous, Pat, and it caused so much anxiety to nursing home residents, the patients, and the families. And for several months, they denied everyone access to the information on the cases.
Yeah, Vegas is in the home now.
She's that it was not in the public interest.
That one, but still.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever.
No. So the other issue was privacy, but the data would be anonymized, just as the data coming out of the hospitals. You don't know who has COVID, but you know how many people have it. And that was vital information for families in terms of transparency and informed decision making.
Now, I spoke with the Baltimore Sun, and their reporters were asking the bureaucrats. In fact, they filed a couple of legal documents to try to get information, and I told the editor, I said, your problem is you're talking to the wrong people. The governor is in charge of health care in the state of Maryland. The governor has the power to simply make a phone call to the head of the Department of Health and say, release the information. And he did that, but like after 8 weeks.
Yeah. And it was from pressure from families and from public figures like you, Pat, that finally it was the governor who said, enough. He responded to this huge outcry and allowed disclosure of COVID cases and deaths. And as a result, as you said earlier, we learned that half of the COVID deaths are in fact in nursing homes. Over 143 nursing homes have confirmed cases.
Now, didn't it was already law that Medicare and Medicaid services did require disclosure?
Yes, they did. That's what was so shocking, Pat, because of the refusal of the Maryland Department of Health to disclose cases was a violation of this mandate. And after all, Medicare and Medicaid services, they provide a lot of money to nursing homes in reimbursement.
Yeah, I read today $600 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
To just ignore them.
Now, it seemed to me, and we're going to get everybody into this,
Everybody.
that the governor was focused on hospitals and hospital care. And it seemed that in the beginning he did not focus and pay attention as much as he should have to the nursing home potential. And we already knew, the first deaths in the country were at a nursing home in Washington State. And anybody, you don't even have to be a medical person, knew ahead of time that frail and elderly people were the main targets of this virus, and they were the most vulnerable. And it seems to me that that's where you needed to go first. You had to have these staff people tested. You had to have the people in the facilities tested.
Yeah.
And you had to wear the proper gear, and you had to have an isolation. I read where a lot of these patients were never sent to the hospital. They remained in the nursing homes, and they were not isolated.
So that's exactly right, Pat. And, it's incredible to me that it was such an oversight, frankly, by the governor to ignore these concentrated hot spots of cases and deaths. And I'm glad that he finally turned around this week. But again, it was due to pressure from families and from leaders like you that it turned it around.
And this is interesting, too. This is what bothers me. I hope this is not true, but we don't know exactly what the eventual outcome of this virus will be. There is talk that it could be a relapse in the fall, and Angela's husband actually brought this up, but this is something very serious. That's when the flu returns. Now, are the nursing homes going to be prepared to do the job, the right job, if this thing comes back? Are we going to experience the same kind of failure on a system that, in my opinion, for a long time has been broken? It's just my opinion. Or are they going to be ready?
I couldn't agree with you more, Pat. Right now we have promises that from the governor that they will test every resident and caregiver in nursing homes. We need that so badly. They just don't know how bad it really is. This could greatly reduce the cases and deaths if we actually knew who was infected. In some cases, they're putting well people in with sick people.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen then.
Yeah. So I want to tell our callers that we're only taking calls in relationship tonight in the first hour on the nursing home issue. If you have a problem with a nursing home, serious problem, you can call here and briefly tell us about it. And if you want to get on our list, your phone number, we will give it to our producer, Ron Savage. He'll take your number and your name. And I will say this right now. If anyone out there does have what they consider a serious problem with the nursing home, you can call my office. My office number is 410-238-0025. And if you don't get an answer, there is a machine, the old-fashioned machine, will take your message, make it very brief, your name and phone number, because we get a lot of calls. It's 410-238-0025. My email is Pat, P-A-T, McD, M-C-D, E-E, 2 E's, Pat McD at Comcast.net. And if you want to call tonight, it must be on the nursing home issue. The number here at WCBM is 410-922-6680. That's 410-922-6680. The toll-free long-distance number is 1-800-922-6680. And Angela, I want to ask you how you got involved with all of this.
WCBM, the Pat McDonough Show, Ron Sauer speaking, who's calling tonight.
A cousin of mine died on April the 14th.
Okay,
Anita
let me
was,
get the magic computer.
unfortunately fell and broke her hip.
The first caller, the first.
Beginning of March, and was at the Ann Arbor Medical Center. And that was about the time
And
the
it has to
lockdown
be about
started in
nursing
the nursing
homes,
homes,
subject.
skilled, in the inpatient skilled nursing homes. And she was discharged
in the
and
nursing,
transferred
so it is
into
about
the
nursing
skilled
homes.
rehab.
Very good, Bruce,
And
very
everyone
good.
thought that she'd be safe there because no family or visitors were allowed other than staff. And unfortunately, communication
All right, my
stopped
friend,
with
your number
her
one
family.
caller, stand by.
And
Number one caller
the
you
only
are.
time that they got through was
All
to
right,
find
take it
out
easy.
that she was being
Why is
tested
she so
for
low?
COVID.
Why is she so freaking low?
Then the call about
I don't
she's
like that
positive,
at all.
and then she's in her final hours. You can come see her, and then a call at the end that she passed and who's going to pick up her body. I was outraged. That prompted me to get on the phone or an email with the Maryland Department of Health and ask about data about it, because no one knew that COVID was in the nursing homes. And I just found this whole situation outrageous. And a similar situation happened with my neighbor as well recently, who died on Tuesday this week of COVID while he was at the rehab place in Chestertown.
See what's going on?
I've been on
Vegas,
fire,
Vegas.
actually, with this issue, and I reached out to Dr. Palmisano about this, and that's how I ended up here, was through her, and my telling this story.
Well, Dr. Palmisano, let me ask you this. I saw and read where ARP, the Seniors Association, is very concerned about this situation. I assume there are other groups that are very concerned about this situation. Have you been communicating with any of these folks?
Well, with the patient rights, we developed a coalition of 24 advocacy
WCBM,
groups,
the Pat
and that
McDonough Show, is Ron
included
Sauer speaking, and who's calling tonight?
AARP as well as United
Oh, you got to
States
talk
of
about
Maryland,
nursing
which is
homes.
another very large group. And so there are literally a couple million people who are really actively engaged and concerned about this.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk with our attorney, David Allen, and see what he thinks is going to happen in the world of litigation, the media world, or the state legislature. I have an idea what I think is going to happen, and we'll see what he thinks, and what we have to look forward to that's going to be coming up. I'm Pat McDonough with Valerie McDonough and our special guest, talking about the nursing home industry and issue, and we will be right back.
Emergency. It doesn't even need batteries and comes with a hand crank generator and super bright LED flashlight. The Dynamo emergency radio includes the NOAA weather band, a long-range AM receiver, a high-sensitivity FM band, and even a USB jack to charge cell phones or other devices. The Dynamo emergency weather band radio retails for almost $30. But Newsmax wants to make sure you get this radio, so check out the free offer for emergency radio. by going to gettheradio.com. That's gettheradio.com or call 800-NEWSMAX.
And
This
where you
radio
calling
can
from,
save your life. This is a limited offer and may end.
Donna, okay, where you calling from?
Are you facing tax problems? No matter how long it's been since you last filed,
I'm sorry, where?
if you have faced unemployment, loss of a family member,
Calvert
divorce,
County.
or illness and feel you can't afford to fix your tax problems, contact Advantage Tax Service, the Tax Killer. With the Tax Killer Rescue Plan, you have options you'll find nowhere
and
else.
you're gonna talk about
Since
the nursing homes?
1989, Rose Harbaugh, former IRS employee,
Okay,
has helped
get
many
it to-
Marylanders
get it to-
and
he knows
others
it.
outside the state resolve their problems. Advantage Tax Service has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau
You're on.
and works
All right, hold on,
overtime to
please.
assist the taxpayer
You're gonna be the
to
second
avoid
caller.
additional penalty and interest. They are
Hold
here
on, please.
all year, preparing each return as if it were their own. And Rose Harbaugh, owner of Advantage Tax Service, met and was
WCBM,
interviewed by
McDonough show.
Tom Marr when he did her ads. So give Rose Harbaugh, former IRS
what's your
employee,
name?
a call at 410-869-TAXX. 410-869-8299.
Okay,
Or online
and,
at
where you calling from?
taxkiller.com. That's taxkiller.com.
Emma complained of a
And you're going to talk about the nursing home.
sarcoma. The tumor was very aggressive.
Oh my
very
God,
quickly
okay.
became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate.
All right, you're going to be calling number 3 because I'm getting into a commercial here. But you're calling number 3. I'll put you right on.
Could teach the world a
Thank
couple
you,
of
hold on.
lessons about how to treat people. If those lessons could be learned, this world could be a better place.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding
Number
cures,
3 is-
saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
This is a commercial announcement. Picture this scenario. A shortage of fuel has closed your electric utility, or any possible disaster has just devastated your town. You're out of power, no lights, and no news. That's why federal and state agencies urge every home to have an emergency radio. Now you can get a free Dynamo World Band emergency radio. This powerful radio lets you stay informed during any type of emergency. It doesn't even need batteries, and comes with a hand-crank generator and super bright LED flashlight. The Dynamo emergency radio includes the NOAA weather band, a long-range AM receiver, a high-sensitivity FM band, and even a USB jack to charge cell phones or other devices. The Dynamo emergency weather band.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about nursing homes and experiences. Let's take a couple of calls right now. I'm going to start off with someone from Calvert County. Is that Mia? Is that the right name?
Donna.
I don't know. Okay.
Donna.
We'll find out.
Donna.
Hello, who is this?
This is Donna.
Donna. Welcome to the show.
Donna. Thank you.
And we'd like to hear your experience.
Well, I had a question I'd like your opinion on.
All right.
So, you had mentioned Dr. Hogan is in charge of the Maryland Health Department. So, what is your opinion then on why the Maryland Health Department kept this data secret for so long?
Oh,
Do you
this is
think
a wild show.
Finding out percent of the deaths in the facilities does not justify the shutdown, the severe shutdown?
Well, I'll give you my opinion. I'll ask Dr. Palmisano, Angela, and David if he wants to mention anything. I think the governor was lax. He was negligent. I think he... when I talked to the Baltimore Sun editor, I said, your reporters are asking the bureaucrats about this. He's the boss. All he has to do is pick up the phone and say to the Secretary of Health and Mental Hygiene, put that information out there. What the hell are you doing? I mean, after all, this is a rule from the federal government, and we get $600 million a year from the federal government. There's no reason to do this.
Right.
He had that power.
He announced that this week, but...
Well, he announced it after, the horse is out of the barn, and people are dead. And now he announced that he did something. And that's the problem I have. Now, I think he could have done more.
Pat, 6 weeks ago, you actually announced on the show, on this radio station right here, 6 weeks ago, you said something about they better start checking the senior nursing homes and the senior high-rises.
Yes, he did.
They better start,
Yes, he did.
the state
Yes,
better
he did.
start
Yes,
looking
he
at
did.
them, because
Yes,
they're
he
the
did.
most vulnerable
No,
people.
let me tell you, I said it back in January.
Well, that's
Not
true.
6 weeks ago. I said
It was in January, but it seems like 6 weeks ago to me.
All right, thank you, Donna. Let's talk to Dr. Palmisano on her thoughts. Was there a failure here, Dr. Palmisano?
Hello? Oh, absolutely. There was an abysmal...
Oh, come on.
And
Go ahead, Doctor.
about the welfare of vulnerable nursing home patients. So I agree with you completely.
Well, Thank you. How about you, Angela? What do you think about this?
Oh, I agree. I think there was negligence on this part. Too many people died before they and it took a lot of complaining from a lot of different directions, from state legislators, media, advocates, and so forth, to really get them to pay attention and release the data. It took way too long.
All right, let's talk with Carl. Carl, you're on the air. Good evening.
How are you?
Good. What's up?
Well, I had to call in. You and I spoke a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Carl. Thank you for calling. I know you deal with the with the elderly community quite a bit.
Yeah. I
have no idea what happened.
Place for 30 years.
This is Bruce.
Bruce,
wait a minute. I'll put you right on.
I had to call in.
And Bruce?
In my business, I've been in and out of many nursing homes over the years. And I will tell you, firsthand, the lack of compassion that is shown to the folks in those nursing homes is staggering.
Now, what do you base that on, Carl? What do you base that on?
That's based on my own observation.
No, but I mean, why do you think that occurs?
Well, Patrick,
please don't push buttons, man.
There's no oversight to the caregivers.
1019, baby.
When you go, you can walk in any nursing home in Maryland. Just walk in and walk down the hall.
Yep.
And see how many elderly people cry out to you for help. They will yell out their doorway, "Please help me! Please help me!" And if you go to one of the caregivers, it seems like a cookie-cutter approach that they all say, "Oh, they're crazy, they're crazy." And I've been thrown out of nursing homes, Pat, for going to the manager and saying, "Hey, wait a minute, you got people asking for help. No one's addressing it." And when I bring it up to one of your caregivers, they say they're crazy. I said, what do you have, a location here full of crazy seniors? And they asked me to leave. So there is no oversight to the caregivers. No one's looking at the conditions that some of our seniors are in. And it's barbaric.
Carl, this is Valerie. I actually went through that with my mother years ago before she passed away. And I actually called the state to bring the state to come in and check the nursing home out, because I started to see things that I did
That's
not
why
like
none of my
when there was
folks will
staff,
ever go in a freaking ever go in a
sitting on the floor. Nobody went in to help the man get back into bed. He's sitting on the floor for over an hour and a half. And when I went to the front desk to report it, it was like, "We'll be right down to see the gentleman." Guess what? Never showed up. And I've called the state on that, and when the state came in, it was like everything was fine and peachy, and it wasn't. My mother.
We'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and every time I made a complaint, it seemed to me like the nursing home, they were going to go and investigate it, and the state was going to go in, investigate it, and when they went in, the nursing home was notified, because you know why I knew that they were notified ahead of time? They were cleaning the floors, sweeping under the bed, being very nice. The staff looked wonderful. Totally, you always knew exactly what was going on.
All right, thank you, Carl. We'll be talking with you some more, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to talk with Bruce. He's been holding on. Bruce, good evening.
So, good evening. I'm listening to this, and I can relate to this 100%. But this was 20 years ago with when I was my mother, and it was the same thing. That where people were they need to be changed. They're sitting in a chair. They're falling off the chair. And I went to same thing. The management, well, this has to be done. The other woman in my mother's room was this, was that, and it was always the same thing.
One of the things.
I even said, look, if you need, I'll help them move them. If they need to be moved or they need help, I'll do that. And in the one case, unfortunately, at the time, I had a broken collarbone. My arm was in sling. I said, I don't care. This is my mother, or if this other person needs help. And one woman lying next to her was saying, she kept saying, I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. Yeah, it's sad enough when you watch your love on your mother and even strangers that are going through that, and then unfortunately they didn't have any family or no visions, and then here's the other thing. So then maybe the physicians, so sometimes or general practitioner or the neurosurgeon, it was a decline because non-cancer brain, and she had brain surgery, and after a while, and then it was just a slow, steady decline. And I actually got to the point one day, I've been known to have a temper, and I got mad and lost my cool because they weren't doing it. And most of the nurses that were with me, there was one woman that was in charge of the staff, had terrible attitude. And I'll be honest with you,
I don't have you on here.
Unfortunately, I have a bit of a temper.
I don't have you on here.
And I lost my cool. Didn't threaten anybody.
You can come on today.
2 days later,
Yeah, by all means. They just said if you're last.
On county cop, walked through the
only if you did it last
you
week.
can't come in anymore. I hired an attorney by the time
You are.
I got
You're
back
great.
in.
You're terrific. I'm gonna put your subject as nursing home again.
All right, hey Bruce, thanks for the call.
You should. Next, I'm gonna hurry up. I want to.
Anyway, I'm with you 100%.
All right, thank you. Dr. Palmisano, I'm going to let you go, okay?
It's some heartbreaking stories. So thank you so much, Pat, for everything you're doing and advocating.
Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk with you some more. We're going to come back and do another show. We're going to see how we make some progress here, find out what's going on, see what kind of response we get and that sort of thing, and see if we can make a difference, make a change. I mean, as I said earlier, I think this is sometimes a tragedy can become an opportunity.
Minute 50 heartbreak.
And maybe...
For everything you're doing, Pat. We need this kind of regular and honest communication on this topic. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Palmisano. Good night.
Bye-bye.
So, David, you know, you've been around, you've been to these nursing homes, you're an attorney, and is there an opportunity because of things that are happening that we can make a change?
No, absolutely. I mean, we definitely could work towards getting better training, having better staffing, have requirements that you need to have a minimum amount of people, but actually have that enforced. It seems a lot of times, you know, they may have a requirement to have a certain amount of people working that day, and if those people don't show up, they make do with half the staff. But we need to make sure that that doesn't occur, and that you know, that just overall that the system is improving. You're right. We could take a tragedy and make the system better.
40 seconds heartbreak.
Yeah, we need to. And this is an issue where you have Democrat delegates and Republican delegates. I think you have a lot of people that are ready for change and want to make a change, but it is not acceptable as to what is occurring now, and we've got to make some changes there. So anyway, we need to take a break for the Unstoppable News. We'll be right back.
On Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore, and WCBM.com.
Senators back to work. I'm Mary Corsetti, Fox News. The Senate reopens on Monday as the coronavirus crisis rages. It's a prompt move by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, convening 100 senators during a pandemic. The Senate's return gives President Trump the imagery he wants of America getting back to work. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett discussing President Trump's current approach.
The president has told us is to, update him every day on the status of everything and to be kind of in a wait and see mode. And at the same time, what we're doing is we're developing plans for whatever eventuality occurs. And so if it gets worse, we've got a plan for that as well.
Meanwhile, local leaders are reopening their economies. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts discussing some of his plans.
We have relaxed some of our directed health measures to allow for restaurants to go to 50% capacity in about half the state's counties, a little bit more. We also will allow elective surgeries. We're going to allow worship services to begin again in larger than just 10-person groups.
Other businesses that will be allowed to open include tattoo parlors and beauty salons. Granted, they follow the same health guidelines as restaurants. While other local leaders are dealing with protests. In California, about
Hey, listen.
turned out to protest Governor Gavin.
Everybody's ordering food. Everybody's watching movies. Hate to go to the store. But if you're a store owner, man, you're stuck. You're right in the middle, ground zero. Where do I get my stuff? Where can I get my stuff at? Where can I get my produce at? Well, I'll tell you where you can get your produce at. You can get your produce from Benny Sedano. And you call this number, right? You call this number to get your produce delivered very well. 410-799-7833. That's 410-799-7833. Ben's Produce. Ben's Produce. Benny Sedano. You call him up at 410-799-7833. Let us serve you. Hey, look, you have bad bathroom problems, man? I want you to call Vince's Tile Works. Vince's Tile Works will help you out. His name's Vince Palmer. He's the owner and the operator, and he will come to your service immediately. Want to check him out? Go to Facebook. Go to Facebook and look under Vince's Tile Works. That's Vince's Tile Works. He will tell you everything you need to know, answer any questions you may have, and he'll be there, mask and all. Mask and all, get it? Oh yeah. And while you're watching TV, you know, I'm sitting around, Jesus God, man, it's the third movie I'm watching, man. I'm getting a little sweaty. I need a t-shirt. Well, you know what a sweaty t-shirt? Get ready to sweaty t-shirts and go get a good t-shirt on Bluefish Apparel. That's on Facebook. It's Steve Bluford, man. Go see this guy, man. Visit or call him at 443-278-4853. That's 443-278-4853. Steve is a nice man. He's not to smack you or nothing, man. He's going to say, hey, how you doing? You know, what do you want? What do you want? Yeah, I'll take a picture of your mom, your dog, anything. I'll put on a t-shirt, a scoozy, anything. Go see all his stuff. Bluefish Apparel. And there's other ones that are wrong. There's other fake ones, like BLUE and all that other bullshit. But go under Bluefish Apparel. That's BLUFISH Apparel. There it is. APPARREL on Facebook. Ask for Steve Bluford. Call him up, man. He's a nice man. He's a very nice man. You'll make him laugh. Watch. 443-278-4853. 443-278-4853. Listen to this. I'd like to let you know that Holy Rosary Polish Church down in Fells Point needs your help. Okay, they need your help. They need parishioners. And there's a parishioner that also witnessed something, and not because the churches are closed, but while he was there, he witnessed something, and it needs to be brought up. His name is Ron, and he said that please bring family back into the church again. Bring family back into the church again, please. This is very important. Family unit is God's love. Put it back in the pews. I was a kid, first pew I was in, I know. Holy Rosary Church, right there in Fells Point, okay? Just help them out. Be a parishioner. Just anyway, they need a roof, they need everything, but they need you, your family. Put that honor back again, that wonderful time of family membership back again in the church and in your family. Thank you.
Some of the recommendations include installing barriers and motion sensor detectors.
Hey, we're coming into the second hour of the Pat McDonough Show. Listen, here you go. You want to call in 410-922-6680, 410-922-6680. The subject, I believe, is...
Meanwhile, the former Senate staffer who alleges Joe Biden sexually assaulted her 27 years ago...
It was about funeral homes. Oh! No, it's about nursing homes. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you more a little bit.
She was too scared. Reid didn't raise the allegations until this year. I'm Mary Corsetti, and this is Fox News.
Looks like as we move towards midnight, the rain should be coming to an end. Temperatures dropping back into the mid-40s. That is a good mark for this time of year. Behind this departed system, though, it is going to be a little chilly for Monday and a little breezy. Monday, we will keep it mostly cloudy. The winds may get up to around 30 miles per hour as we get up into the upper 50s. 41 for the overnight low Monday night. See a sunny cloud mix Tuesday, 63. I'm Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Sound great.
For the best hits of the 60s.
I want to hold your boop, boop. Oh, FCC. FCC. Well, have it here, but right now we're talking about it everywhere. I'm going to talk about it right here, Pat McDonough right here. And you should see it right here on Go With This. Is also, please go with this. It was Super Citizen on my TV. He comes on tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So go see him at 10 o'clock, okay? Go see him at 10
The
o'clock.
recent health events and financial markets have us all wondering what the future holds.
There's Pat's email. You want Pat's email?
Come out of this and life returns.
Shut up! On Pat's email, it's Pat McDonough, P.O. Box 15470, Baltimore, Maryland 21220. That's Pat's email. All right, you can see him again. No, it's Pat's snail mail. Now, for Pat's email, you want to go. Pat's email is Pat McD at Comcast.net. It's Pat McDonough, Pat McD at Comcast.net. It's Pat McD. Pat McD. And Super Citizen. You want to call up? You want to call up Super Citizen? There you go. Call them up. Say hello. I want to join Super Citizen. You Super Citizen. 410-238-0025. That's it. All right, join it. Super Citizen. Be a Super Citizen. Be a Super Citizen. I got my Pat McDonough stuff right there. See? It's right there. It's right there. Be there.
Safe Retirement Solutions. Call Rod Barowie, 410-266-1120. SafeRetirementSolutions.com.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680, WCBM, and WCBM.com are not necessarily those of the owners, management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM. But they should be.
The Pat McDonough Show is brought to you by Rally for America.